Alright, so today's video we're going to do a turtle pond build, an outdoor turtle pond build for what we have is a saw shell turtle. He's currently hanging out in this little pond here, which is kind of a temporary pond for him. Now saw shell turtles, when we can find him, he's in here somewhere. So he's roamed over that one. So today we're doing a video on a saw shell turtle. So as you can see, these guys they're quite a robust species of Australian turtle, kind of the Australian version of the snapping turtle. Not quite as dramatic, but they've got that awesome big head there. Ooh, see, there you go. And yeah, so these guys, they can grow up to about, the females can grow up to the shell, the carapace size about 30 centimetres. The males about 20 centimetres. The males are a lot smaller than the females. This one's still quite a young one, so it's got a lot of growing to go. So the outdoor pond that we're building is going to be for one of them. So for this one, and it'll be for its whole life. So we're making it big enough so it's quite comfortable for living. And you can make it bigger than bigger, but that's probably the smaller size that you want to really make yours. Yeah, so these ones are in the wild. They're found the top of New South Wales all the way through Queensland right up to the very top, and Australian natives, and very cool looking turtles. Alright, we'll show you I'm going to put you back in this one, it's a bit deeper. There you go. Alright, so we'll go to come out here to the pond where we're building. So it's a pretty simple design. We're building the framework out of sleepers. We've just screwed the sleepers into each other with these screws on the side here. We've got two levels of sleepers. Each one's 20 centimeters tall. So the bottom level is for the substrate and the pond. And as you can see in here, we've got a ramp that we've built out of. So the structural bit of the ramp is out of sleeper as well, and then the structural bit to support the substrate, so which we're going to use sand, just play sand for bunnings. We're going to fill that right up to the top. You can also order sand in bulk, like trailer loads from ground places, depending on how much you want to put in. It can be cheaper to get it in bulk if you need to. So with this ramp, you can see it doesn't go quite down to the bottom, so we're just going to pack that with a bit of extra dirt, pack it up, and then we'll lay some weed matting down on both sides. We're going to put wire on the sand side just so he doesn't dig out, and that'll be above the weed matting. That'll keep the weed matting down and prevent weeds pushing the weed matting up and growing through, and it'll also prevent turtles digging out, or mice or any type of vermin digging in to get your turtle. On the pond side, we're just going to use pond liner. We're going to staple that in, and then we've got the frame here for the lid. It's just going to be an opening lid, so the water level depth is going to be about 20 centimeters, the land level depth is going to be about 20 centimeters, and then we're going to have 20 centimeters height above it. The length of this pond, the total length is about 2 meters, and we've got 1.5 meters water area and 50 centimeters land area, and width wise it's about 80 centimeters all across. So yeah, we'll leave it at that, get some more, and then okay, so this stage we've got the weed matting down over here, and we've got the wire on top. We did that before we put the black pond liner in. So we've got the black pond liner, it's the heavy duty stuff from Bunnings. If you get cheap stuff, we've done it before and it just tears really quickly. But this heavy duty stuff's pretty good. So at this stage we just cut it generally to the size, and then we placed it in the middle, and now we're filling with water before we attach it everywhere, because if you fill it with water while it's before it's attached, then all of the excess areas that you're going to get if you just attach it, and little crevices that you're not really 100% on, are going to fill with water, and it's going to fill it and it's going to be all tight. If you attach it before you put water in, then you run the risk of having it tear where you've attached it, because all of a sudden you've got these holes in the ground that the water goes into. Unless of course you put a cement slab down first and you put sand on top of that, and then you have it all absolutely 100% level, but even still it's better to just put the water in first, and that way it's all good there. And we're just holding it in place with staples at the moment, and these staples are well above the level that the water is going to get to, so if we need to attach it permanently a bit later on, the staples won't really interfere, and then we'll just trim it up after it's all attached. Alright, so the turtle pond's pretty much finished. We've put this just palings, we screwed palings in over the pond liner, and then we trimmed it up above that to make it all nice and neat. The palings will prevent the turtle from getting up and kind of pulling the staples out that are holding the pond liner in. So it's just an added extra protection. We also put underneath this astroturf here, we put another paling in to keep the pond liner there, and then the astroturf's been screwed on top of it. And the astroturf is on the ramp, just to give this guy a bit of extra traction, and also it's not like his claws are going to scratch, are going to open up the pond liner, because it's pretty heavy duty, but at the same time it's always better to be safe than have a pond kind of leak out. So then to hold the astroturf down, because the astroturf's going to float otherwise, we've got a little tile down here at the bottom, and the tile also acts as a good suction point for our water heater and our pump. Now the water heater we used in here, depending on the size of the amount of water you got, we just got a water heater like this. You can adjust it, it's 200 watt, but you can get 300 watt, you can get 500 I think, so you can get more wattage. And then over here we've got our filter. We've got two little outdoor boxes to protect the cords, where the cord's attached to the external extension cord thing. Then we've got a little wooden box around the filter so that the substrate doesn't get in. We've got substrate piled up there, and as a finishing touch we put a few little guppies in there, some males and female ones, so they will breed and hopefully provide a little bit of food for this guy, but he'll probably pick them off pretty quick. So with any luck he'll wander into the water. So as for water temperature, whatever turtle you're going to use, you're going to have, just look up what specific temperature that turtle does best at. Some turtles don't need a water heater. A lot of both the native ones like the eastern longneck and whatnot. But depending on where you are, it may need a water heater. Temperatures may get down lower than you need. Or you may need to provide some sort of like shade cloth up there to protect them against the heat. This doesn't get really too sunny here, and we've got this in here so it'll kind of protect it, and we can always put something on in the middle of summer if it does start to heat up a bit too much. But the advantage of the water heater is it's on a thermostat, so it should keep the temperature. It won't cool the water, but it won't overheat the water if the water gets too hot. And yeah, so the other thing is the lid. we've got the lid finished. The turtles will climb, so a lid is good, or a really high smooth surface, but we've got this lid for this one. So it just folds up here, latches on, we'll put a lock there, and like a padlock there and a padlock on this side. And then eventually we're going to put another enclosure behind this enclosure, so we don't have to worry about having something to sit the lid up against, because that's going to be the enclosure. But if you're doing it against something else, you can put something for the lid to sit up when you're popping it up. So yeah, that is an outdoor turtle pond, and stay tuned because we will be making next video on our indoor turtle setup, which is the Clay River turtle in a fish tank. Alright. Yeah, so another thing you can kind of do with, and that's a good idea with turtle ponds, give them a bit of shelter. So we've just got a floating water plant in here. These things, you can set these up yourself, or you can buy them already set up. If you want to set them up yourself, you've got these little floater foam bits which you can pick up from Bunnings, and then you just put a pod in, put some core peat, and then weigh it down with some pebbles on top, and then get whatever plant works well for floaters. These ones work well. You can kind of, once you get one, you can just pull off a bit and plant it in another one, and it'll grow. And you can do the same for the land. Just get some sort of plants in there for the lambs. Just kind of be your own architect, I guess. And then you've got down here, you've got the little fish. I'm not sure if you can see them, but this one here, the colourful one, that's the male little guppy, and the non-colourful ones, they're the females. So you get a couple of those in, and they will spread and reproduce hopefully before the turtle manages to pick them all off, and then you've got a nice healthy fish pond growing, or turtle pond growing, without too many mosquito eaters. And the turtle will pick at the mosquito eaters as well as the fish. So yeah, alright.